Hello, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and my 7th period class scared me today because they had a big mental blank on graphing quadratics, and we spent so much time on it, and my 8th period class similarly, although we didn't spend as much time on it. So I'm going to put this video together for you if you're not sure about how to graph quadratics. So first of all, this is going to be a parabola. It's a quadratic equation because the highest power is 2, right? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find A, B, and C. A, B, and C. Now A is going to be 1, B is -9, and C is -36. I know that when I'm done with this parabola will open upward. I know that because A is greater than 0. All right, now remember I'm going to need the quadratic formula. I'm going to use many different parts of it, and I might use the whole thing. That's all over 2A, right? Okay, so let's see here. This part here is the discriminant. The discriminant will tell me how many times the parabola will cross the x-axis. It'll tell me if it crosses twice, once, or 0. I know if I get b squared minus 4ac greater than 0, it means it's a positive under the square root. And a positive number has 2 square roots, like the square root of 36 is 6 or -6, right? So if b squared minus 4ac equals 0, well then I'm going to take the square root of 0. There's only one square root of 0, so there's one solution. Okay? And if b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, then I have to take the square root of a negative, which you can't do in the real number system, and so I have 0 solutions. This will not cross the x-axis. So I like to, first of all, find the discriminant. So I'm going to do b squared, notice I use the parentheses, minus 4ac. And when I do that, I'm going to get 81 plus 144. 144, that is going to be 225. So this is going to have 2 solutions. Since there are 2 solutions, I'm going to go find them. All right, so here we go. Let's go find them. I'm going to use the whole quadratic formula to find where the graph crosses the x-axis. So negative b would be 9, because b is -9, so the negative of that. Square root of 225. Notice I didn't redo b squared minus 4ac. I already know it's 225. And that'll be over 2 times 1. So this will simplify to 9 plus or minus 15 over 2. And I have 2 answers here. I have x equals 9 plus 15 over 2, and I have x equals 9 minus 15 over 2. All right, so 9 plus 15 is 24, divided by 2 is 12, so x equals 12. So one of the zeros is at 12, 0. All right, 9 minus 15 is -6, divided by 2 is -3. So the other 0 is at -3, 0. So let's see here. Let's go up, and maybe I want to move my graph out of the way here, just because it's getting into everything else. That's good. All right, so I got to go to 12, 0 for one of my zeros, and so that's going to be 11, 12, right about there. And the other one's at -3, 0. All right, this is going to be a pain to draw this parabola, but that's okay. I'll do it just for you guys. All right, so now I got to go find my vertex. Going back up to this equation, the quadratic formula, I remember that the x-coordinate of the vertex is found by doing x equals -b over 2a. So I'm going to go x equals negative of b over 2a, and that'll be 9 over 2, which is 4.5. That's the x-coordinate of the vertex. So 4.5, somewhere along there. Now I don't have a point there. I will have my axis of symmetry. Remember that? The axis of symmetry, a line that the parabola is symmetrical about. Yeah, it's going to pass through the vertex. The vertex will sit on the axis of symmetry. And so I'm going to put that in just to help me graph. Oops, I must not have grabbed the... There we go. All right, now to find the y-coordinate, oh, by the way, what's the equation of the axis of symmetry? Well, the x-coordinate of the vertex is 4.5. It's going to be x equals 4.5. Now, to find the y-coordinate of the vertex, I'm going to plug 4.5 in for x squared. So I'm going to go y equals 4.5 squared minus 9 times 4.5 minus 36. All right, 45, 20, 25, I believe. 36, 40. 40.5? Excuse me. 36, half of that's 4.5. Yeah, 40.5 minus 36. All right, so combining like terms, I'm going to get 76.5 minus 20.5, which is going to be a pretty big number. Ooh, that's going to be a pain to graph that, but okay. Well, I must have a sign error. I must have a sign error. Yeah, I do. I'm going to have a negative and a positive. Sorry about that. 20 and a quarter is positive. So it's going to be a negative y-coordinate. And so this thing is going to go way down here somewhere. All right. Now I'll leave it to you to draw the parabola. Okay, I'm not going to try to draw that when I have to scroll and everything. But it'll come down, go down, 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 and then back up like that. Okay? Let's try one where you're not going to get a positive discriminant. Or, yeah, you're not going to get a positive discriminant. So let's go A, B, C. And we go 4, negative 12, 9. And so to find a discriminant, I do B squared minus 4AC. And that'll end up being 144 minus 144. So in this case, the discriminant is 0. Now I have two choices here. The discriminant 0 means the vertex is going to sit on the x-axis. I can go to the quadratic formula, find the 0, and that will be the same point as the vertex. Or I can go right to the vertex, and I think I'm going to go right to the vertex. X is going to equal negative b over 2a. So x is going to be, excuse me, 3/2, 3.5? 1.5, I mean? Yeah, 1.5, right? 1.5. Okay, so 1.5, 0 is the vertex. Now it's opening upward because a is positive, right? But I need two other points. I know 1.5, 0 is my vertex. It's also the x-intercept. So now I'm going to go to input-output table. I will use an input-output table if the discriminant is not a positive number. And I'm going to put 3 values in. We get 1.5, and I know 0 comes out. So I need 2 smart choices for other x values. Well, I'm going to choose 0 because 0 makes my math simple. If I put 0 in, I get 9 out. So 0, 9 is on the graph. Now, I went 1.5 units this way. I'm going to go 1.5 units that way and get 3. And because of symmetry, if I do the math, I will get 9. Now, if you don't believe me, you go ahead in this equation here, and we're going to go 4 times 3 squared minus 12 times 3 plus 9. Well, this is going to be 9 times 4 is 36 minus 36 plus 9. The 36 will cancel. I'll be left with 9. So I didn't have to do all that work to get that answer, but it's okay that I did that work to get that answer. So my parabola, and you can laugh because it's so hard to draw these with the airliner. We'll do something like that. And you know, you on paper can do a much better job with a pretty U like that. All right, that's it for the video. Good luck on your final. Mr. Laurence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.